You ever just crave something at certain times of the year and it just goes back to childhood? I think we all have something. And for my fiance, he always wants the Little Debbie's Christmas tree cakes. And I think a lot of people immediately gravitate towards those because, as you know, 90s kids, like, well, I was born in the 80s, he was born in the 90s, but we grew up with those. Like, they were a staple at Christmas time. The color of them, what they tasted like, what they smelled like, and, you know, we ended up buying a pack of them at one point last year, and I was like, man, these just aren't the same anymore. Like, I don't know if it's just because I've gotten older, or if ingredients just have... I honestly think the ingredients have changed, but because I can say that about a lot of those Little Debbie's, Drake's cakes, you know, Hostess. None of them taste like they used to. So, he wanted, long story short, he wanted the Little Debbie's Christmas tree cakes this year again. And I was like, why don't I just make a Christmas tree cake instead? And he was all for it. He'll never like directly ask me to bake something because he just knows the effort and knows he'll eat all of it. So I have to kind of like be like, hey, I'm gonna make this, and he'd be like, oh yeah, that'd be a great idea. And instead of like coming out and asking me to do something, I'm a acts of service affection person, so like I love to bake and cook for him, and he's the same way. He loves to cook for me, so it's very much a give and give household. So I took my chiffon cake recipe that I've used before and made basically just a chiffon cake in some square 9x9 tins and cut them down, which was a whole other fiasco between me trying to figure out how to turn a square cake into a rectangular-esque shape tree without making the tree look too fat, because I wanted it to be reminiscent of the Little Debbie's cakes anyway. And when I tell you, me and Kamal sat at the dining room table with printer paper and sketched out tree after tree to try and figure out how we can geometry this perfect tree, rectangular tree onto a square cake without making the cake insanely tiny. We felt like that Julia Roberts meme where it's got all the formulas for the triangles and the circles just floating around her head. Yeah, it's pretty accurate to how our brains were going. If you're watching right now, you saw me use that vinegar whenever you're going to be whipping up egg whites, and I always use a glass bowl, and soap always leaves residue, whether you know, you like it or not. It's just going to do that. So before, when you're going to like make meringues or whip up egg whites, always give your bowl wipe down with a little bit of vinegar. That's going to allow that egg white to whip properly and not like stick to the sides and deflate too quick. And it's just going to allow it to climb that bowl like it's supposed to, versus like it being slicked off the side because of soap residue left over. So I always do that. That's just rule of thumb. And here I tested 3 different methods of separating my eggs. And I'm sorry, like the easiest way, and I've seen so many people do it with the eggshell, is dumb. It's so dumb because I just end up breaking my yolk on, because these are like cage-free, certified humane eggs, and I honestly swear the shells are always more healthy. They're happy chickens, so their shells are healthier, and I feel like, I don't know why I just put it back into the shell. This is just... Anyway, ignore that. Just use your hand. I know it's a texture thing for some people, and this egg was the weirdest thing. It split the long way. I was struggling. Struggle busting with my eggs, but these shells were just so strong. So let's hope that just correlates to happy chickens, which I assume, you know, our goal down the line is, we were supposed to be working on this year, but circumstances led us to having to turn down a plot of land because job loss and all sorts of other stuff that we dealt with. So we will eventually have our acreage and our chickens. It's just not in the cards for immediately this year. We're hoping that we'll be able to circle back, after spring, and either that plot of land will still be there, or we're going to be looking for another one. But we want happy chickens, and I think these chickens are really happy because those shells were really thick. But those 3 methods, I use that little egg separator thing. Forget that. Use the shell to don't do that. Just use your hand. Crack it, use your hand. Separate the yolks. And so you have to wash your hands. I mean, I wash my hands 50,000 times in the kitchen whenever I'm making anything anyway. And if I didn't edit the heck out of this, you would see me go over the sink and wash my hands and touch something or get something on my hands and immediately. And I don't want to hear it. This is not an OCD thing. This is an everybody thing. You get something on your hands and you're in the kitchen, you want to wipe them. Otherwise you're getting stuff all over your drawers and your fridge handle, and it makes me work. But that's my spiel. This is my homemade vanilla. I make vanilla pretty much probably every year. I do 2. I do a vodka based one and I do a rum based one. I like the spiced rum one for holiday baking because I feel like it just adds flavor to it. And that's the vodka based vanilla. And I get the grade A Madagascar vanilla beans and just let them sit in there for 6 months. And I did have vanilla bean paste that I had made, but I had run out last year and I just had so much vanilla extract. I didn't want to buy more vanilla beans and make more vanilla bean paste. I figure I'll get through my stores of vanilla extract before I do that again. But that is on my list for this year because I am running low on my vodka based vanilla extract. So you're going to want to put your wet ingredients into your dry ingredients. And I'll give that a good stir. I want it to get nice and incorporated. And then once I've got that all incorporated and homogeneous, I'm going to go and I'm going to whip the heck out of those eggs until I get a firm peak. I normally use my KitchenAid whenever I'm whipping up egg whites, only because it's faster. I don't know what my major malfunction was today, but I decided I was going to use my hand mixer, which was just silly. I think it's because I wanted to use my glass bowl. That's probably it. In my head, I was like, I want to use the glass bowl because I was whipping up meringues. But honestly, I've made meringues in the KitchenAid so many times. I've made pavlova, which is absolutely delicious. Like that baked meringue. And I did that in the KitchenAid and it was just fine. But this is that cream of tartar. I'm going to add that to my egg whites. And those are the square pans that were about to give me a brain aneurysm when me and Kamal were trying to figure out how to cut that tree out. But I'm going to fast forward through the whipping process here because it does take some time to get those eggs inflated and standing at firm peaks. But I'll show you what that looks like as we get there. So we're going to gradually add the granulated sugar to the bowl of egg whites. You can see it's already frothy here, and I'm just going to kind of fast forward a bit through here. I'll check a couple times to see if the peaks are stiff. Really, when you pull the beaters out, they're bright white, and it creates like little mountaintops and they don't fold over. That's your stiff peak. So I gradually add my granulated sugar. You don't want to just dump it in there because it's going to deflate what you've already whipped up, and the sugar is sharp. It's not going to do anything but break it back down again. So just slowly add the granulated sugar as you're whipping it in, so it dissolves into the egg white, so there's nothing like crunchy left behind. It just makes for a smoother meringue essentially, which is what we're doing here. And this is my second mixer like this, my hand mixer. My first one took a very nasty tumble off the kitchen counter months ago, and not only did the beaters bend, but the inside where like you stick the beaters into broke into a kajillion pieces. So this is my new one. And it's really nice actually. I really like this hand mixer. It's 9-speed. It came with dough hooks, which I have not tried yet since I have my uni spiral mixer now. I just do all my bread in there, and it's just worth the investment for me because I'm baking bagels every week. I'm making bread almost every week. It's, see how stiff those peaks were? Yeah. So that's what you want. And again, when you make a chiffon cake, you typically use the bundt style cakes pans. This is a Christmas tree cake, so I'm not going to make a vertical one this time. You do not want to grace your pan when you're doing a chiffon cake. You want it to climb the walls of your pan. I know that's counterintuitive. You're like, I gotta grease there, it's not gonna come out. Trust me when I tell you, do not grease your chiffon cake pans. Let it climb those walls. If you greased it, it's just going to not fluff up, not be that fluffy chiffon cake spongy consistency. It's gonna just be flat. I'm just giving this another like fold because I saw a little bit of the wet ingredients that we mix, the egg whites and stuff, not completely homogeneous, so we just scoop that in there. So I put the first one in, I'm gonna put the second one in and just kind of like rotate them, just to make sure they're heated, you know, evenly here. And my oven, it's a regular size oven, but it can fit these square pans nicely. At some point I just kind of rotate them from side to side. You should not do what I did and wait to dislodge your cake from the pan. And this was, I just got distracted. Usually like with your bundt cake, your chiffon style cake pan, you invert it immediately and the cake just slides out, because you want that like toasty chiffon outer layer, because not everyone like dresses their chiffon cakes with frosting. They kind of like glaze them a lot of the times. Same thing with like the bundt cakes. I waited, so as you can see, I tore off a little bit of the chiffon cake, which is okay because that just means snacks. But it's still piping hot. You can see it's steaming, and I have to trim this anyway for the cake. Otherwise, it would have been a wicked thick cake. But yeah, it's still rather hot. I can't even snack on it yet. So the second one actually came out a lot better. I still waited a little too long to remove that one from the pan, you'll see, but it wasn't anywhere. It didn't tear like this one tore. But again, I am shaping these anyway. You can see me do like tappy taps to dislodge it, and it really just goes thunk right out of the pan pretty well. And so more snackies for later. Now, I trimmed this once it cooled quite a bit. It's no longer steamy hot. And I just tried to level it as best I can. After challenging ourselves with math for what felt like forever, me and Kamal at the dining room table, I came up with this tree. And it worked pretty well. And yeah, we were trimming the cake down, so Kamal got even more snackies, because we weren't going to have this cake until the following day anyway, because I wanted it to cool with the crumb coat overnight, and then the following day I was planning on frosting it fully. And so I just wanted to trim it, get it nice and cool, get the filling in it, get the crumb coat on it. So I'm just sawing away, shaping my tree. Arts and Crafts Day in the Stephanie household here. And the cake pieces over here, Kamal was going to try and piece into another tree because he thought he could. He gave up. But they look like little sandwich quarters there, don't they? Little sandwich halves. So I'm just taking my time and trying to get this as perfect as I can. And you know, I always look back at everything I make, whether it's something I'm baking, something I'm cooking, something I've crafted, and I kind of like What could I have done differently? How could I have made it better? There were a lot of errors with this cake. And when I say that, I shouldn't say errors. I should take it from Bob Ross, and they were happy accidents. Like the frosting I wanted to do for this cake did not turn out right. I tried a different recipe, which was dumb. I should just, stuck with the recipe I've used before because I know how that one was going to come out. But I just wanted to try it. It was going to be more like a glaze, so it would be more reminiscent of the actual like Christmas tree cakes. I should have just done my white chocolate ganache frosting, and I didn't. And this is what I'm making right now, and this recipe I just never gonna use again. The internet is great for certain things, and then sometimes you find one that's a dud. This, it wouldn't have been entirely terrible, I think. It wasn't as like consistency glaze like it said it was going to be, and that could have been my own issue. But my main issue was my butter was really yellow. I think the whitest butter I've ever bought is like the Land O'Lakes butter, but I didn't have that. And I was like, well, I could do the trick where you add a little bit of purple food coloring to your frosting and make it a little whiter, and that did not work. It made it flesh toned at like almost a little bit, probably either a little bit lighter than me, maybe. I did not want a flesh colored Christmas tree cake. So I ended up using it almost as like a layer, like a chocolatey flavor, like a white chocolate flavor. So I used it as a layer and then did the vanilla buttercream over top, which is perfectly fine. You didn't see the color at all. And I also used it to turn it into almost like a candy melt, since the majority of it was powdered sugar and white chocolate anyway. And then I added some red food coloring to it so I could make the ribbons of the cake, which you'll see. Which was also my second, error, I want to say, the aesthetics of the cake. I kind of wish I did a thicker piping of the red ribbon. Just for, aesthetics reasons, I guess. It did nothing to the taste of the cake. It did not take away from the cake. It just added a little bit of sweetness to it, which is perfectly delicious. But I feel like from an aesthetic standpoint, I probably should have gone a little thicker with the ribbon, but that's okay. When I do this again, which I probably will, I will. I'll go with the thicker ribbons. So this is the following day. You can kind of tell because I'm wearing a different shirt because my black shirt had frosting and powdered sugar all over it, but I'm wearing the same pajama pants because it's probably around 6 p.m. at this point the following day. I let the crumb coat get nice and cold in the fridge, and that awful white chocolate coating harden, which actually made this a lot easier to frost. It kind of just slid over it. So there's an upside there as well, but I'm just gonna kind of zip my way through frosting it with the actual final layer of buttercream. And realistically, I put it on thin, so it wasn't like a crazy amount of buttercream. I think there's the perfect buttercream or icing frosting ratio to cake. I tend to gravitate more towards the cake versus the icing. I think as I've gotten older, my desire for savory outweighs the desire for sweet. So you can see here what I'm talking about with the coloration. And this was after it had cooled, so it looked a little bit more beigey. But it, like I said, it was like a flesh-colored tree. It was not what I wanted at all. So I did use it to make the ribbon, and I just kept adding. I didn't have my Watkins red. I think I had used the last time I made sugar cookies for Christmas last year. I have to at some point get more food color. I don't use a lot of food dye. I just don't. I don't flood cookies much. So the one I had lasted forever. But I think I had some Wilton gels, but I ended up using this one because this is what I had handy, and it was a bright red. And it worked. I mean, it essentially what I made with this quote-unquote glaze was candy melts. I didn't have candy melts, so it made the ribbon, because I wasn't sure what to do about the ribbon before this, so it kind of just was like, it's solidifying real well. It could work. And yeah, it tasted fine. And here I think I cut it twice, and I was looking at pictures, reference pictures, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a good size, because some of the reference, whenever you open up a thing of Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes, I think they're all different no matter what you're looking at. Some of them have thinner ribbon, some of them have thicker. I still think I should have gone with thicker ribbons. You're gonna see my too much gene is just yeah, my too much gene is just running away with me here, and I was just trying to get it as perfect as possible. And what was interesting was this actually pulled up off the cake, so if I really wanted to, I could pull this up and do it, but it did stain a little bit, if you know what I mean. That's me thinking I'll just thicken it this way, and I'm like, no, that looks awful. So I took a toothpick and was just be gone. Unhand me. Alright, go for it. Can you taste the white chocolate in it?
Mm-hmm.
Is it good?
I'm gonna need like 3 more of these.
No, you need 3 more of them.
And I go have some milk.
Yeah, well, careful how you hold. It's gonna slide right off the plate.
Makes you want to shake violently.
Makes you want to shake violently? Oh. That could be the diabetes. The hyperglycemia. It's gonna last us a while. That's quite a few Christmas tree cakes in one. Is it good? Yeah? Okay. I haven't tried it yet. I think they'll take it. Oh. How? You know, even though I messed up with that chocolate layer, it was a good mistake because you can get the chocolate in between the buttercream. That is a happy app. Oh, and it's a treat. Aw, Bob Ross. Happy accidents.